Hi everyone, and welcome back to the third video in the tenor sax segment of my passion project. So in the first video, we learned how to put together a tenor sax, and in the second video, we learned how to make our first note. And now in our third video, we're going to start learning the three major scales. And the first major scale we're going to learn is the rite of passage first major scale concert B flat. And now remember, the tenor sax is pitched in B flat, so a concert B flat scale would be our C scale. So this scale is completely natural. It has no flats and sharps, and it goes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then back down again. So I'm going to teach you the first octave, which is the lower octave, which is a bit harder than the higher octave. So we're going to start on a C, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then the bottom note. Now this is a lower note on the tenor sax, and to get lower notes out, you have to use a lot more air so you can fully blow it down the tube. It is a bit more difficult, but it's okay. You'll get used to it with practice and time. So again, all three fingers, and then the pinky. Oh, my thread came off. Okay, we're good now. So C. The first note that we learned is a higher C, but this is a lower C. And we're going to be ending on that higher C that we first learned. So now that we have a C, we're going to go up to a D, where we lift that pinky and just have 3 and 3. So E, we're going to lift our ring finger and just have 3 and 2. So for F, we're going to lift our middle finger and just have our ring finger for 3 and 1. So for G, we're going to lift that finger and we're just going to have 3. So for A, we're just going to lift our ring finger and just have 1 and 2. So for B, now we're going to lift our middle finger and just have 1. And do be mindful, it does tend to leak spit a little bit, so just be aware of that. And to resolve this scale, we're going to go to our high C, which is the first note we learned, which is the middle finger. So now that we've reached the top of the scale, we're going to go all the way back down, just doing the fingers in reverse. So now that we have the whole scale together, just take your time to piece it together, but this is what it's going to sound like in context. Now here's one thing that happens with the tenor sax. Now if you heard, the notes are supposed to be lower, but you heard me jump the octave. Now when that happens, that means that you're not blowing enough air into the instrument so that the notes can come out as they're supposed to be, which is lower. I tend to have this issue personally because I'm not a saxophone player, so I'm not used to using a lot of air. But just take your time and practice with it. There we go. And another tip that I have for you is when you're playing lower notes, drop your jaw a little bit. Just bring it down a little bit because it tends to be easier to push the air out when your jaw is dropped lower. And when you have to go higher, just close it up a little bit so that everything's tighter so the airspeed is faster. So there we go. That is the first scale on the tenor sax, which is the B flat major scale or the C scale. So now that you've learned your first scale, come back for our next video where you learn the second major scale. I hope you enjoyed your time on the tenor sax, and I hope you learned something today. Bye, guys.